Hello everyone, my name is Arsen Bandurian. I work for Motorola Solutions for Learning Center of Excellence, so basically I'm the training guy, right? And as a training guy I tend to speak for days, so excuse me if I go for 11 minutes, but I'll try to be quick. So in this wrap-up session I want to do something simple, you know, we will not be averaging antenna diagrams and do the other cool stuff, we'll just talk about some different design approaches. And since we're in the hotel, I thought it would be a good idea to talk about this blocky type of a building, which a hotel normally is. It could be an office block. Sometimes it could be a school. It's something that typically has corridors and a lot of rooms there, right? Who does these kinds of deployments? Who does hotels or maybe hospitals? Well, okay, a lot of people. How do you normally do it? Where do you put your APs?
It depends.
It depends, right? The traditional design approach is you want to put them in the corridors because that's how it seems logically and you can get the most coverage out of it. That's the traditional approach. However, there is a problem, right? Well, first of all, where are your clients in this kind of setup? They're in the rooms, right? So already your APs are not where your clients are, which kind of doesn't make sense. Now, if we talk about AP specifically, what's between your client and the corridor? Normally it's the bathroom. Bathroom is mirrors, tiles on the mesh, sanitation, all that stuff that greatly attenuates the signal. Even in this hotel, you walk out of the room plus 10 dB, like this. Right? Then the wall is normally the firewall, so it's typically a thick one and you cannot do much, right? The doors and so on and so on. Then there is the other problem, the hallway, right? You put something in the hallway, your APs can hear each other brilliantly, really well, right? So frequency reuse becomes a problem. Yeah, you can do 5 gig, but how many clients are supporting 5 gig yet? We can see that now more and more of them do, but not all, right? So your APs interfere more than they actually provide coverage. So then you would say, okay, yeah, that's kind of stupid idea. Cabling, all the other stuff. We want to put the APs into the rooms. Wouldn't it be nice to put it right here in the room? Awesome. We put it there. AP is exactly where the clients are, right? Your enemies, your bathrooms and your corridor walls become your friends because they provide you natural attenuation, so you can put an AP here and they will not interfere. You have a lot more channels for reuse. You can support everything you want. That's awesome. But there is its own set of challenges. How do you put AP in the room? What do you need in order to put the AP there in the room? You need some cabling, you need some power, right, or part of the cabling. And also there is one important thing about the hotels, which is aesthetics, right? This is something, thankfully it's not in the room, but you can see all the issues, right? Mounting antennas, mounting APs, providing power. I don't know if it were in my room if I wanted to stay in that room, and I have no idea why you want to mount Omni. This is not Yagi, this is Omni. That's the thing, right? Sideways, so they're probably doing interflow coverage, stacked design, maybe a new approach, maybe my next session will be about this, we'll see. But basically, here's the thing. If you put something in the room, that's extra cabling, right? And you will put this AP on the ceiling like it normally does, so you have to get this cable. There is this big box in the hotel room, and everyone, it blinks with lights, maybe it doesn't blink, but everyone says, oh, there's an AP out there. Right? Which is not some people will react to. Also, how many hotels are there that first do their refurbishments and then they realize, oh, and by the way, we wanted to upgrade our Wi-Fi, but you cannot touch anything, right? What do you do with this? Again, it's designed to budget and all the other things. Cabling alone is more than 50% with the labor, right, related, is more than 50% of your project. Right? So I want to trace back in time to this real awesome piece of technology which was available, I think, in like 90s, maybe early 2000s. Does anyone recognize this? That's a good old 3-com switch which you could just install into your normal cabling socket, right? And you just take a socket out and you put a switch in. So why not have the same for Wi-Fi? And, well, there is a lot of this stuff, which is the WALLPLATE form factor. Who knows about WALLPLATE AP form factor? Oh, okay, quite a lot of people. Awesome. So, okay, thank you very much. We're done. Right? So basically the idea is, but I'll try to bring you something new. Maybe you'll know this, maybe no. So the idea is easy, right? It doesn't attract attention. It can be flashed like this. Nothing at all, right? No logos, nothing. Can have your phone port pass through, can have an Ethernet switch on it, which may be an add-on module. Here's an HP version of it, which is basically the evolution of that old 3Com stuff, because you know where 3Com ended up. Here's a Ruckus one, and these ones are from Motorola. Then basically they have specialized antennas which are designed to have strong front lobes, sometimes with the back lobe, so they shoot like 3 rooms back and forth. Your site survey becomes basically an exercise of how many rooms of coverage do I get. So you just take 2 APs, install one, and go through rooms, figuring out, okay, this is where I need to have the next one, right? So it becomes a real breeze. And then installation itself is easy because, again, it mounts normally just on your normal telecom socket. So this thing is simple. However, there's a problem. This stuff works fine, and some of these products actually are work controllerless. They just find each other, it's all fine, but they require Ethernet, right? So office building, fine. Hotel that has Ethernet, fine. What if there is no Ethernet? Oh. Mesh, DOCSIS, yeah, good ideas. However, not when you have hundreds of those. What is almost always there? What type of cabling is always there in your hotel or workplace? Phone cable. So, here I give you the iPhone. This is from the company called Teledex, old US technology. Believe it or not, the technology is called Airlink, and the product was called iPhone, long before Apple stuff. So what they have is basically they sell lots of hotel technology, phones, all this stuff, and some of their phones have AP in it. Simple, right? And they have some DSL going back, so that's peanuts, right? So basically, and DSL is more than enough for phones, but there is a challenge. Now that this thing has APs in it, you have to have an external power supply, because your traditional PBX will not give you enough power to power a full-blown AP. Right? Not to mention like dual stream, all this stuff. And as soon as you have external power supply, what normally happens? It's not even about theft. It's about your cleaning lady coming in and she needs to plug her Hoover into something, right? Just a few weeks ago, I was to a hotel in Cologne. It was not about Wi-Fi, but basically my TV wasn't working, something else wasn't working. The maintenance guy came in, spent about 15 minutes just troubleshooting the TV itself. Then he was like, okay, plug it in. It works, right? So, and believe it or not, from what I know from our guys who do this in hotels, they say this is one of the topmost problems in the hotels, because maintenance just comes in and plugs stuff out because they want to do their work. Sometimes they plug it in, sometimes not. When it's a TV, it's fine. When it's an AP, you don't want accidental AP power-offs, right? So, what would be the good solution for it? Get rid of the power supply. We have PoE. Why not have PoE over the phone line? And these solutions exist as well, right? Basically what you get is a big DSLAM which also does something like power over DSL. And the distance can be up to 450 meters without an external power supply, which is enough in most cases for your typical hotels, unless you're in Vegas and those hotels are real huge, right? Then you just have to have multiple on this, like do horizontal cabling systems. So you get basically your power over phone, there are no extra power sockets, no associated risks, you plug this stuff in, you're done, right? And in certain cases, you can get this solution managed well with the rest of your Wi-Fi infrastructure. So if you have traditional APs, you can kind of have unified umbrella management, right? So basically this was the point I wanted to deliver, that this stuff exists. Who knew about this stuff before? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I hope, guys, you learned something interesting. Just a small interesting fact here. Again, so just to summarize what we've done, WALLPLATE form factor allows placing APs where the users are, resolves lots of traditional hurdles, your survey becomes a lot easier, your designs becomes a lot easier, you don't have those aesthetics problems because it's just a small WALLPLATE, you plug it somewhere at the user level, not at the ceiling level, you plug it at the user level, right? You can reuse existing cabling, you can reuse phone cabling if there is no internet, you don't need external power supplies if you cannot afford one, having one, not money-wise, but just deployment-wise. So that's it. One thing I want to say is, okay, it looks all nice and easy, but of course, own perks exist all the time. If you want some details, you can talk to myself about it. And products exist from different vendors. For these kinds of solutions, you want to test them for different things like performance and manageability, because we all know that currently marketing is a little bit ahead of engineering for pretty much everyone in the world. So thank you very much.